My name's Dave Lipson, and I'm committed to stronger lives for myself and my athletes. I grew up in the Northeast, had a really loving family, had a big community. My family was heavily involved in religion, so I always had a congregation that knew me and was invested. And I can say that my growing up the way I did was a blessing, and I felt so loved every step of the way. When it comes to athletics or where I am now, everything really goes back to me when I was about 5 years old. My mother and I were in a pretty horrific car accident. She fell asleep behind the wheel of a little Isuzu rental car, and we went head on with the minivan and ended up in the hospital for weeks and weeks. And after that, when we were finally out, I entered the kindergarten, but I wouldn't speak. I was silent, and the teachers thought something was wrong with me. And I became this very silent, shy, and fearful kid. And it wasn't until I started to play some sports, and it started in gym class or at recess or then in Little League, that it was the first time I remember feeling powerful, feeling confident, and feeling having the confidence to be the big version of myself that I was afraid to be outside of the sporting field. So athletics to me wasn't just about like having fun and running around, but it was a way for me to express who I was and not be afraid to do it. And then over time, I was able to become that person outside the field, but it was really athletics that gave me that confidence. So it's as much something I love as it is part of my identity. And as you can imagine, holding something as near and dear to you as I did that, I never wanted to let it go. The biggest influence in my life is my wife and my daughter. I mean, they are very much my anchor, my North Star, my compass. My wife is standing next to me over here, but she is not just like the fittest woman on earth, right? Obviously athletically gifted and accomplished, but she's such an outstanding person and holds such a high standard for herself that I want to be the best man I can be for her. And my daughter is a gift, a blessing from God. After having her and not knowing if she's gonna make it, what her life was gonna be like, I view every day with her as a gift, and I don't wanna miss a single thing. I wanna be the best possible man, father, husband, and business owner I can be for them, because they deserve it. And I wanna be able to look back at my life and be able to say I left it all out on the field for them, so to speak. My daughter is a product of two uniquely eccentric people, right? And so both my wife and I, we're fiery, we have passion, we get carried away. And there are moments when I see pieces of myself or my wife in her, but better, like the next level. And when I see her like rocking out, having a dance party in the gym, or just seeing all the fire and passion she has for life, to me, that it makes my heart explode. It makes me so happy that she's here, and so hopeful for her future. Yeah. I don't know that the metrics we're using for the word good, but I can tell you that I am, like in all things, committed to my daughter. And what that means to me is that I'm going to try my best, but I know that there are some ways that I'm going to fail, and I'm going to have to look at it and try to be better and evolve for her. The same way, I'm in a marriage, and our marriage has evolved and changed because we've both grown together. So I think, as a parent, you can try to be as perfect as you want, but there's really no such thing. You're gonna make mistakes. The only thing you can do is show up every day, try your best, and have the humility to learn and accept where your shortcomings are so that you can be who your child needs. And I'm committed to being that person for her, So it really motivated me to, want to be not just the best baseball player now, but the best baseball player in high school and college and professional sports. And then, transitioning out of that, I realized that the sports were just like the vessel, just the conduit for me to express my gifts and who I was. And that led me into training and gave me a whole new set of ways that I could try to share my gifts with the world. You know, not just being a strong athlete, but I love education, I love writing, I love working with athletes. And to be honest with you, looking at baseball versus training, it's a way more gratifying existence to be doing something that affects more than yourself. Well, I think most athletes that play sports at a high level, it really does become a part of the fabric of their identity. And it's one of the hardest things in the world to go through, letting go of your sport and knowing that, hey, it's time to leave. It's scary as hell, because up until that point, you know, all you're known as is, you know, Dave the baseball player, right? So it's like that moment in that Zoolander movie where he looks in the puddle and he's going, who am I? I don't know who I am. I've never really explored that. So it was scary as hell. And I feel so lucky that one, I followed my heart and my passion and my talent into training, because very shortly thereafter, as soon as I was able to let go of who I was and start to embrace who I was becoming, I realized that the opportunities are great. You don't know whether something is good or bad. You just need to play it out and try to be the best version of who you want to be. And getting into training slowly, like a snowball, gaining more and more steam, I realized not only do I really love training and training people and exploring how you can apply stress to manipulate your body and all the intricacies of diet and exercise and lifestyle, but the idea of sharing that and giving it to people is incredibly rewarding. And CrossFit to me was an opportunity to still feel competitive as an athlete. So although I was done playing my sport, it wasn't like I was going in the gym and I didn't have a purpose. I knew exactly what my purpose was. So that story for me never ended. And that's a good message for all athletes and people out there is, you know, you should never stop being competitive and chasing something. Having a goal to chase is so important, because unless you have a destination to point your compass at, you're just gonna be wandering around aimlessly. And if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. So, you know, it's important, whatever your goal is, it's important to look at these as checkpoints and continue to chase things so that your life has some purpose and meaning, and it's more than just going around and moving, but it represents something to you that'll give you a sense of accomplishment. Leaving baseball was really hard. One, because I played it for a long time. Two, because it was highly tied to my personal worth. And three, because I didn't know what the hell I'm gonna do now. You know, you play sports at a high level and you feel like you have this special gift, and all of a sudden you're an average Joe. So how do you bring something special into the world not knowing what that thing is? It's really terrifying, but it's also an opportunity for you to explore and look at different things and find different avenues for you to express your gifts. Because honestly, like, you know, I look back at my baseball career and the things that I love the most about it, and what I love the most about it was feeling special and unique and being part of a team. And there are lots of different ways to do that, but it was just for me, like the things that really made me feel so rewarded about it. And now I'm in the same place. I have a huge team of athletes and coaches. I feel so special that they trust me. So, you know, it's scary, but if you look at it as just instead of the end, honestly, it's the beginning. You set yourself up for an exciting new adventure. Baseball was the first time that I actually got interested in training the excuses for why you can't do it. And honestly, none of that matters. I mean, I think that faith and spirituality is one of the most powerful forces that we have as humans. Having belief is honestly, it's like a superpower. The greater the ambition, usually the greater resistance you're going to encounter. You're going to fail, and that's part of it. It's the chase that's so thrilling. The more wins, even small wins, you can stack, the harder it is to break that habit. I think everyone is a bro. Thunder Bro is all about helping men and women find their thunder.